The notion that scientists blaspheme God with their supposed science is a perspective that has been debated for centuries. This viewpoint is often rooted in the idea that science and religion are mutually exclusive, and that scientific inquiry is an attempt to undermine the authority of God. However, this perspective is based on a flawed understanding of the relationship between science and faith. Science is simply a method of understanding the natural world through observation, experimentation, and evidence-based reasoning. It is not an attempt to disprove the existence of God, but rather to comprehend the workings of the universe and the laws that govern it. Many scientists are, in fact, people of faith who see their work as a way of deepening their understanding of God's creation. They recognize that science and religion are not mutually exclusive, but rather complementary ways of understanding the world. The pursuit of scientific knowledge can, in fact, be seen as a form of worship, as it reflects humanity's innate desire to understand and appreciate the complexity and beauty of the natural world. By studying the workings of the universe, scientists are, in a sense, uncovering the underlying order and design that reflects the wisdom and power of God. The idea that scientists blaspheme God with their science is often based on a misconception about the nature of scientific inquiry. Science is not a fixed or absolute truth, but rather a continuous process of discovery and refinement. Scientific theories and models are subject to revision and updating as new evidence emerges, and this process of revision is seen as a strength, not a weakness, of the scientific method. This is in contrast to religious dogma, which is often seen as absolute and unchanging. However, this does not mean that science is inherently at odds with faith. Rather, it reflects the provisional nature of human understanding, which is always subject to revision and improvement. Furthermore, the notion that scientists blaspheme God with their science is often rooted in a fundamentalist or literalist interpretation of religious texts. This perspective sees the Bible or other sacred texts as a scientific or historical textbook rather than as a collection of spiritual and theological writings. However, most mainstream religious traditions recognize that Scripture is open to multiple interpretations and that its teachings should be understood in a nuanced and contextualized manner. By recognizing the complexity and richness of religious texts, people of faith can see that science and religion are not in conflict, but rather complementary ways of understanding the world. In addition, the scientific method is a self-correcting process that is designed to eliminate bias and error. Scientists are trained to approach their work with a healthy dose of skepticism and humility, recognizing that their findings are always provisional and subject to revision. This is in contrast to dogmatic or ideological approaches, which often rely on unexamined assumptions and unquestioned authority. By embracing the scientific method, scientists are, in fact, reflecting the values of honesty, integrity, and intellectual curiosity that are at the heart of many religious traditions. Ultimately, the idea that scientists blaspheme God with their science is a polarizing and divisive viewpoint that reflects a deep-seated mistrust of the scientific enterprise. However, this perspective is not supported by the evidence, and it fails to recognize the complexity and richness of the relationship between science and faith. By embracing a more nuanced understanding of this relationship, we can see that science and religion are not mutually exclusive, but rather complementary ways of understanding the world. Scientists are not blaspheming God with their science, but rather uncovering the wonders and secrets of the natural world, and reflecting the awe and wonder that is at the heart of many religious traditions. By recognizing the value and importance of scientific inquiry, we can deepen our understanding of the world and our place within it, and cultivate a greater sense of appreciation and reverence for the complexity and beauty of creation.